Om. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Why this is doing this? सब ठीक है. Then where's the problem? Why? हाँ, अभी ठीक हो गया. Okay, so ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ. We have already done the first verse. Om Ushanha Vaivajashravasaha Sarvavedasam Dadau Tasyaha Nachiketa Nama Putra Asa. So here we were looking, last week we concluded this, and in this we saw that the father is, or Nachiket, the son of Vajashravasa, is the Vajashravasa Gautam. Vajashravasa is the grandfather, Vajashravas Gautam is the father, and Nachiket is the son. And here we also see it's written within the lines. Adi Shankaracharya explains, but we have to transport ourselves into that period of time and see the situation. And what is the situation? That the father was desiring to perform the sacrifice. And what was his intention behind it? His intention behind it was to gain heavenly pleasure. And are we studying Brahma Vidya to gain heavenly pleasure? Question. Or
No.
are we living our life for Brahma Vidya? Please don't pin yourself again. Are we living our life, are we approaching the Upanishad for Brahma Vidya, or to go to some loka? Or lokas means the various heavens. There are so many different heavens. So his intention in those times, because this is a story of yore, popularly accepted, and that time the religion, and whenever certain practices become the norm, and with time, till people are not reminded, the religion as such becomes very extroverted. Spirituality is introverted. Spirituality is esoteric. Religion, the way it is even practiced today, it is more exoteric, we can say. Esoteric is within and exoteric is outside. And uh, probably the father of Nachiket, who was desiring the heavenly pleasure, he came from a wonderful lineage. Who came from a wonderful lineage? Not only his father, even Nachiketa. His grandfather was a great Annadata, and that same tradition is being followed by the son. He is doing the Vishwajit Yagya. Vishwajit is, if he was a king or any rich person. See, the time our society is uh, goes according to the Varna ashram, and ashram is brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So when we are talking about vanaprastha, so are you going to keep all your wealth just in case I'm going to go back to it as a security? Then that is not vanaprastha. And this is what is lacking today, because people, even though they want to be spiritual, they are desiring the Brahma Vidya, but they are not ready to give up their relations, they are not ready to give up the possessions. And this is seen in those times of yore, in the father of Nachiketa, that we will see in the next verse. And and what had happened at that time was, the spirit of Vishwajit Yagya is that the yagya, the ritual is performed, and whatever wealth you have collected in your lifetime has to be distributed so that you can enter into the next stage of life, which is vanaprastha or sannyas. But there also, the father, again, as I said, we will see what. So this attitude of wanting the heavens, wanting the higher worlds, this comes from what do you call, the it's an attitudinal problem, we should say. Because when we go to temple, we have a list. When we go to yatras, we have a list. When we go to meet masters, our Swami Nityananda of Ganesh Puri, he used to say, I have got pearls to give to people, but people are coming only to get chana from me. Why? People only, Swamiji, please bless me that I should have a child. Swamiji, please bless me that my business goes well. Swamiji, please bless me that this happens or that happens. And this is what he used to say. लोग चने मांगते हैं और मेरे पास मोती रखे हुए हैं. कोई मोती मांगता ही नहीं. Only Muktananda went and he got the moti. Very few people apart from him. And this way, our focus is always, what will I get from this or that pilgrimage, puja, Satyanarayan puja, Rudram, etc., etc., etc. And if I will not get something from this ritual, it will not be religious. संकल्प लेना है. अच्छा, कहाँ पे लिखा है संकल्प लेना है? That has become the norm. You can do puja without sankalp also. Without any, what do we say? When we used to do puja, when we were taught puja, we were not told we want this, we want that. But still we asked. And what did we ask? Shraddha Bhakti Jnana Vairagya Siddhartham. See? Shraddha Bhakti. So there still a list of 4 is there. Shraddha Bhakti Jnana Vairagya. Then do we justify that, oh, I am a spiritual seeker. If I don't get this, how will I come to realize the truth? Realize the truth is not dependent on anything. Truth is independent. Brahma Vidya is independent. It is self-existing. It is self-knowing. It is self-illuminating. And that I am. तो then what about Shraddha Bhakti? हाँ ठीक है, we accept it is required. By whom? By those people who are not ready to give up anything. तो उनके लिए बोला जाता है भाई कि तुम इंस्टेड ऑफ आस्किंग फॉर गुड हेल्थ एंड मोर मनी एंड बिजनेस शुड गो वेल एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट शुड गिव गुड रिटर्न एंड एक्सेट्रा दैट आई शुड लिव लॉन्ग, इंस्टेड ऑफ आस्किंग ऑल दिस, ask something higher than that, ephemeral, changing, is please give me Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya. At least by that, by requesting that from the divine, from the Lord, from the Atma, maybe we will move forward. We are not asking for heavens, we are not asking for Bhur Bhuva Swa Tapa Jana Maha Satyam, Saket, Kailash, Vaikuntha, so many different places we have created. That is religion. Spirituality is not that. So decide, where are we? Are we spiritual or are we religious? Someone today sent me a SMS, Swamiji, for your FYI, for your information. So what was it? How to become a chaplain, a Hindu chaplain in Australia. A 9-month course every Sunday. हमें क्या करना है उससे लेके? तो मैंने उसको रिप्लाई किया, Are you applying for the course? He said yes. I said all the best. हम यहाँ पे chaplaincy they call, no? Chaplaincy. You are a chaplain in the, हम हिंदी में उसको बोलते हैं चापलूसी. चापलूसी. So if I will not get something, I will not be religious. Is this our mindset? Is this our attitude? And this attitude is commercial attitude, and it is hypocritical. You are wanting the Lord and you are always there with a list, there with a desire, something to fulfill in this world. This is not the way. See, when we are doing the rituals, our goal must be clear. We are not against rituals. Then what are we doing? See, outer form, the puja, the havan, the yagyas, the lecture, this is also a yagya, this is a jnana yagya. This is not the fire. The speech is also called fire. So the fire is getting illuminated. We are invoking the fire through the speech. But where is our attention? Are we our attention, is it only on the outer form, or is it on that because of which the outer form is able to function? Example, your legs are functioning. Can the legs by themselves walk? Can the hands by themselves hold? There is some power behind. Shrotrasya shrotram, chakshushash chakshushu, pranah prana, pranasya pranaha. The mind of the mind, the pranas of the prana. So there is some. What is that which inspires? That was the Kenopanishad. So what is that which inspires? Is our attention, can this form function without the spirit? So when we are asking for heavens, we are just replacing this earthly plane, which is nothing but a form with various experiences, to some higher plane. There also similar tu meme will go on, you versus me. The gods in the heavens are not sane. They are also insane. They also have desires, because their desires are fulfilled there and then. What will you think of spirituality by going to heaven? Impossible. Only through human birth. So therefore, the outer form of worship, whatever we are performing, and here in this case Vajashravasa Gautam, the father of Nachiket, the outer form of worship should be an expression of inner surrender. If that is taking place, then we are going in the right direction. Otherwise, performing the outer ritual for wanting, for fulfilling some desire, or performing the outer ritual, it is just mechanical. It's just mechanical. See, when you go to these Rudram and all these Ati Rudra, Laghu Rudra, and over 100 times they chant, or 21 times they chant, or 11 times they chant, something like that, it goes on. When they chant so loudly, with so much focus. Their attention is on chanting. Their attention is not what those mantras are representing, the Shiva within. These mantras which are coming out are expression of that Lord Shiva. But instead, that I was able to chant properly, I was able to do this, and the satisfaction is after 21 times when you sweat profusely, that means I chanted well. Someone started doing the puja, and I told you about this one lady, and when she started doing the puja, I told her, don't ask for money, make this puja by going to different houses as a sadhana. God has given you the opportunity to remember Him, so every house that you go to do the puja, take it as an opportunity that it is your communion with the divine, and whatever comes as prasad is prasad. See the growth that happens then. Even more than that, even more subtle than that is that as this practice continues, that puja at anyone's house or your own house, or even this lecture is also a puja, it's a havan, it becomes the expression of the inner divine. See, then we are being spiritual, then we are on the spiritual path. Otherwise, here the story is of Vajashravasa Gautam, who is doing Vishwajit Yagya, and this Vishwajit, he is lacking because he is desiring, and we will see what he is desiring and what is the mistake that he is doing. So with that we will enter into our next mantra, second mantra. Tagangha Kumara Gangsantam Dakshinasu Niyamanasu Shraddha Viveshaso Manyata. Remember, first, second, and third verse are prose, they are not in meter. So, Tagangha Kumara Gangsantam Dakshinasu Niyamanasu Shraddha Viveshaso Manyata. So here the second verse brings us that in short, as the presents, because what was the ritual? After the ritual, the king, or here in this case Vajashravasa Gautam, father of Nachiket, he has to give away everything that he possesses. Everything that he possesses, because he has reached, either he is taking sannyas or he is taking vanaprasth, whatever, but he has to give up. Now to give up everything, to give everything away, wherever it was, in the go down or in the safe or whatever, everything was brought to the place where the yagya was going on, Vishwajit yagya was going on, and as the presents were being carried to carried to the place where the Nachiket's father is standing, or are being carried to the Brahmanas. At that moment, Shraddha Vivesha so amanyata. The faith took possession of Nachiket, who was still a boy. See, who was still a boy. And he started thinking. He started so amanyata. He started contemplating. He started thinking. So means saha. Saha means he. He started contemplating, thinking. So now let's see the bhashya. Tam ha nachiketasam kumaram prathama vayasam santam aprapta janana shaktim balameva shraddhastikya buddhihi पितुर हितकाम प्रयुक्ता आविवेश प्रविष्टवती. So tam unto him, tam unto him, Nachiketa, so tam unto him, who is this? To him who? To Nachiket. Kumaram Santam. Kumaram Santam. Kumara is the first or second stage of life, depends how you look at it. The first stage of life is Shishu. Shishu, Kumar, Yuva, and after that comes only Vruddha. So, Shishu is a small baby who is just learning to, from birth till that child is 3-4 years old. Kumar is from 6-7 years old up till he gains puberty. So, Kumaram Santam. Kumaram Santam. Santam is this boy or Nachiket. Kumaram Santam means this Nachiket is a young boy, meaning while still in his prime, in his and here when it says Kumaram, it also denotes that he has not reached the age of puberty, meaning he is still a mere boy. Kumaram Santam. Dakshinasu. So let's leave that line. Dakshinasu Niyamanasu. We'll come back to that. Shraddha Vivesha. Shraddha Vivesha unto him. Remember, tam unto him. Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. And last time we told you what is faith. Faith in the Ishvara, faith in the Guru, faith in the scriptures, and faith in your own ability, Atma Bala, self-confidence that I can, I must, I will. And this, some people, they have it. But unless we don't have these four faiths, last time again I'll repeat it, it is by the Ishvara Kripa that Guru comes into our life. It is the Guru Kripa that we are able to understand the scriptures. Therefore, scripture should always be heard, never studied by your own. And what is the when we have faith in the scriptures, what is their grace? Their prasad is Atma Bala. When the teacher, by Guru's Kripa, by faith in the Ishvara, the Guru comes. By faith in the Guru, we understand the scriptures. Faith in the scriptures, we get Atma Bala. We come to the correct identity of ourselves. That we are the infinite one. I am not the conditioned one. I am not the limited one. I am not an individual. This conviction, even though it is intellectual, but first it must be intellectual conviction, only then it will turn into a abidance. Only then you will merge into it. Then it will become sahaja bhav, sahaja swabhav. And what do the scriptures do? They change our notion about ourselves. So, what is the notion? I was born, one day I will die, I have a disease, I am getting old, people are calling me uncle, auntie, dada, dadi, ajja, ajji. Oh my god, I am getting really old. One girl calls me Swami Ajja, a small kid. Swami Azoba. Azoba means Ajja. So, अच्छा अब मेरा टाइम. So when you think first time someone has called me like that, oh now 60 is coming near. So we start calculating. We believe, what is our notion? Our notion is that we that this world was there before we were born. Our notion is this world will continue after we are gone. And what do the scriptures do? When we have faith in the scriptures, we'll become convinced about what? We'll become convinced about that we are the birthless, deathless, eternal, unborn, undying, all-knowing mass of homogeneous bliss ever existing. This entire world, creation, is only a superimposition, is only an imagination in the mind. Our notion is I am the mind. No, mind is, you are not the mind. You are the eternal one. Just as from space point of view there is no north, south, east, west, similarly from self point of view there is no waker, dreamer, sleeper, turiya. There is no mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar from self point of view. So these notions, I am not going to go into too much detail, our topic is faith. So unless and until we don't have faith in the scriptures, till then how will what the scriptures are telling us, that you are of the nature of eternal, how will we accept that if we don't have faith? Our Chinmayananji used to say faith is the belief in what you do not know, with the belief that one day you will come to know. So we do not know that we are the self, we only have intellectual conviction. And we believe, if we really believe, if mukshutvam is there and we are working towards it, and we believe that one day we will abide in the self, as the self. See? So, faith in Ishvara, faith in Guru, faith in scriptures, and faith in yourself. What is another way of putting it? Faith in yourself is courageously be ready to discover the Guru, the Ishvara, and the scriptures within you. That all the three are your nature only. So Guru, we are not talking about the physical person sitting outside giving you lectures. Guru is the Guru Tattva, who alone is expressing as these three. Why these three? That Guru Tattva, the Atma Tattva, the Brahma Tattva, the Brahma Vidya alone is expressing as all that there is. But the process is this. Process is this. The earlier we become convinced of it, the more we have faith whatever pujas we have done, whatever rituals we have done, whatever japa you have done, whatever good deeds you have done, in the end it's the Ishwara Kripa that you are listening to Upanishads today. It is Ishwara Kripa that I told you last week the story of this fellow who went to the ashram. So it is the Ishwara Kripa that he brought the teacher into our life, he got the scriptures into our life, and he's making us sing his glory. It cannot be my will. If it was my will, I would have started when at the age of Nachiket. But at the age of Nachiket, we were fighting gulli danda, crying, fighting, troubling. But Nachiketa is of a different caliber altogether. So it is only God's grace that in our life teacher comes, satsang comes, scriptures come. Now instead of comparing two scriptures, instead of comparing two teachers, wherever you are studying, you may be listening to others also, not only this satsang. Don't compare. Wherever you are, be 100%. Be 100%. You are not here for the teacher, you are not here for the scriptures, and yet you are there. Why? Because without that, it will not click. Because scriptures are the only, our Upanishads are the only texts, compositions, which directly indicate the truth without any ambiguity. And they have the courage, the scriptures themselves have the courage. The Upanishads say that in the end you have to give us also up, don't remain attached to us. See? Because we can only indicate the Brahma Vidya, we cannot deliver it to you because we are inert. You are you are conscious, and you have to discover that you are the infinite conscious. That is Brahma Vidya. So when we look at when he saw, here he says, dakshinasu niyamanasu shraddha vivesha so amanyata. So dakshinasu niyamanasu, when gifts were being carried by the servants, etc., and what were there, whatever clothes were there, whatever gold was there, whatever money was there, whatever ornaments were there, whatever grains were there, everything. Vanapras doesn't mean that you keep a stock for yourself and distribute the rest. So what, and yes, and all the cattle was also there. So all those were brought, and they were being led separately. Money was kept separate, grains were kept separate, cows were kept separate, and now they will be distributed to the brahmanas and to all the people who had come to the Vishwajit Yagya, to the priests, etc. At that time, the student, the kid, this is a 6-7-year-old kid, Kumara, what was the word? Kumaram Santam. This young boy of 6-year-old, he had what you call, the faith entered into him. What do you mean by faith entered into him? See? And so, saha amanyat. And he started thinking. Whenever we think about something, if you are now, you came to this lecture at 7:28, 7:29 with the faith, with the belief that Swamiji will come and give the lecture. You begin from the house, getting into your car to reach a destination with faith that you will reach the destination. You eat food with faith that it will satiate your hunger. There is no act in our life from moment we wake up to the moment to the when we go to sleep that we are devoid of faith. Every activity is born of faith only. We have faith, that's why we are in a relationship. We have faith in our health, in our ability to cook properly, in our ability to handle the challenges of life. We have faith to withstand the earthquake this morning. Huh? What was the faith? That we didn't get jittery, that we didn't lose the plot, that we didn't become fearful. We took the precaution of going out of the house, but without getting flustered. That is what faith does. Faith, when you have faith, we become fearless. That it's all okay. Whether you have faith in the God or Guru or the scriptures or in yourself, the result is fearlessness to go through life, facing whatever life throws at us. With this background, with this data, what we have just narrated, Nachiketa saha amanyata. Nachiketa started thinking, started contemplating, started brooding, if you want to use the word. And then he says, where are we? What did he think? He asked the Kasmin Kala Itiyaha. At what time? Okay, I missed it here. At what time did the faith enter into Nachiket? Here it says, Rutvik Sadasyebhyascha Dakshinasu Niyamanasu Vibhagena Upaniyamanasu Dakshinarthasu Goshu Sa Avishta Shraddha Nachiketa amanyata. At what time the faith entered into him? It is said that time when all the dakshinas were being brought, the donations were being brought for all the priests who were performing this Vishwajit Yagya, and all those offerings were being divided into various according to the category for each person, or according to cows were being kept together, money was being kept together, and at that time the cows go dakshinarthasu goshu, and at that time the cows were also being brought. At that time when the cows were being brought, that Nachiketa amanyata. Nachiketa started contemplating and thinking. What did he? Kathamiti uchyate. In what manner did he think? In what manner did he contemplate? So here it says in the next verse. This is the third verse is the doubt of Nachiketa. Pitodaka Jagdhatruna दुग्धदोहा निरिन्द्रियाः पीतोदका जग्धतृणा दुग्धदोहा निरिन्द्रियाः अनन्दानाम ते लोकाः तान् स गच्छति ता ददत अनन्दानाम ते लोकाः तान् स गच्छति ता ददत टुगेदर पीतोदका जग्धतृणा दुग्धदोहा निरिन्द्रियाः अनन्दानाम ते लोकाः तान् स गच्छति ता ददत. In short, he says that Pitodaka, those which have already drunk all the water, Jagdatruna, that those who have already stopped eating the grass, Dugdha Dohaha, those who have stopped giving milk, Nirindriyaha, those whose senses are not functioning, they can't even see where they are walking. Nirindriyaha, another way, Nirindriya also, that those who are no longer able to reproduce either milk or children. So, Anandanama te lokaha, tansa gacchati ta dadata, that whoever gives such cows, whoever ta dadat, whoever gives that such cows, that giver of such cows, he will go to Ananda lokaha, namate lokaha. Ananda means that loka, that field of experience where there is only misery. There is no ananda. It is not written ananda. It is written ananda. So such a person goes to a place where there is only misery. In other words, hell. Not a very conducive place. Why is he thinking? We'll contemplate now. He's contemplating. This verse is, what did he say before? Kathamiti uchyate. In what manner did he contemplate? In this manner he contemplated. That whoever gives such cows which can't drink water, which can't eat grass, which cannot see, which cannot give milk, which cannot reproduce, certainly the one who does this type of donation will go to such a person will not go to heavens, he will go to hell. Hell is called Ananda. Heaven is called Ananda. That where there is bliss. The bliss in heaven is more than on the earth. That's how people say. But the misery is also equally great. But in hell, it's only misery, no ananda at all, no bliss at all. No desires of yours will be fulfilled in the hell. In heavens, at least, what is the quality of the heaven? In heaven, you never get old. You are always young. Second, whatever you want, instantaneously, it is available. Your desires are fulfilled instantaneously. And no disease. You are always healthy. You don't get old, you are always healthy, means no disease, and all your desires are instantaneously fulfilled. And that is why people want to go to heaven. But this young Nachiket, even though he is 6 years old, 6, 7, but see his depth of contemplation. So he says, uh, where are we? The what am I saying? The Shankar Bhashya will read. It says, Dakshinartha gavah visheshayante pitam udakam yaha abhihitaha pitodakaha jagdham bhakshitam trunam yaha abhihitaha jagdhatrunaha. I'll read the whole sentence. Dugdaha dohaha kshirakhyaha yaha sam ta dugda dohaha nirindriya aprajanana samartha jirna nishfala gava iti arthaha. So here dakshinarthaha. So here he says that which was brought for donation, that which was those cows which were meant as presents for the brahmanas, the priests, are being described. That is the dakshina that was supposed to be given. Here the mention of money and wealth and ornaments is not there, because in those times probably the wealth was the cows. Must be an agrarian society. So dakshinata gava visheshyante. So what are the qualities of those cows that are being brought for the donation? Again in the pitam udakam yaha bihitaha pitodakaha. So pitam udakam, that which has already drunk the water, now they cannot drink any more water, meaning they don't have the energy to go to the lake or wherever to even put efforts to take the water in, and such cows are called pitodaka. And pitam udakam yabhihitaha pitodakaha jagdham bhakshitam trunam yabhitaha yabhista jagdhatrunaha. And the second word jagdhatrunaha, what does it mean? It means those cows which have eaten all the grass, but now they do not have any energy left to eat any more grass. Such cows are called jagdhatrunaha. Dugdaha doha kshirakhyaha yasam ta dugda dohaha. And kshir means milk, and those cows whose milk has finished, and they are no longer able to give any milk to the one who goes to their udder and try to get the milk, but no milk come out, they become dry. They are called as dugda doha. And nirindriya aprajanana samartha jirna nishfala gava iti artaha. Nirindriya, so here is, I told you that indriya means the senses. Nirindriya, those who are not able to function through the senses, they can't hear, they can't see, they can't smell properly, they can't walk properly, etc. But here Adi Shankaracharya is qualifying the word nirindriyaha by saying aprajanana samartha jirna nishfala. Those who are incapable of giving a progeny, those cows, those cows who have become impotent, those bulls who have become, here bulls have not been, word for bull has not been used, but we can add that. Those who have become impotent, the cows have become impotent, no more energy left. याहा ताः एवं भूता गा ऋत्विग्भ्यः दक्षिणा बुद्ध्या ददत् प्रयच्छननन्दा अनानन्दा असुखा नाम इति एतद् ये ते लोकाः तान् स यजमानाः गच्छति. Hmm? So, uh, uh, so in other words, these cows, which what is the observation of Nachiket? That these cows which have been brought, they are all discrepit, they are old, they are unhealthy, they have passed their use by date, and the father has brought all those cows to give to these priests. Is he giving it as a dakshina, or is he giving it to get rid of the load of owning these cows, because they can't give anything in return? You have to only spend more and more money to maintain these old cows who don't give milk, and but you have to still take care of them. So it is going to be a burden to the priests and the brahmanas to whom they are, to whoever these cows are given, it will be a burden on them. So here he says, yaha taha evam bhuta ga ऋत्विभ्यो dakshina buddhya. So so he who gives such cows with the here it says dakshina buddhya, with the intention of donation of such cows which are decrepit, old, past their use by date. Whoever uh, has this intention, this type of buddhi, to give this type of cow, such a person, he is not using the word father. He says such a person. He is thinking in general that such a person, he attains that loka. I told you there are 7 heavens, but what is a heaven? It is a plane of experience. There are many people in heaven on earth. You don't have to go anywhere because nobody has come back to tell you yet. But just like a rich person who can travel at any time, can order food at any time, has everything around him, but he's always living in fear. All security cameras around. But that person who's sitting, if he is sitting outside the Flinders Street station, not wanting anything, he is in heaven. Also, he is more in heaven. See? But what's the point? Having everything but living in fear. That is what our God Indra, who is of the father, the boss of the heaven, he is always afraid that someone should not take his seat away. He should not displace him from the kingship of the heaven. Are we afraid? We also put all efforts in our life for what? Yoga Kshema. Yoga, we want to fulfill those desires that which are not fulfilled. In other words, whatever we don't have, we want. That is yoga. And what is kshema? Kshema is whatever we have, we want to protect. This is and this rule applies in heavens also. But this young boy, he is studied, he is coming from a wonderful lineage. His father is a great person, his grandfather is a great person. And just like I have seen people, kids, when many years ago, 98, 99, when I was in Brindavan, a 9-year-old boy chanting the entire Bhagavatam and giving lectures. to 10,000 people sitting in front of him. Where did this knowledge come? Where did this acumen, this understanding, the subtle nuances in the verses, the emotions between man and woman, the emotion between the love, the ras between the gopis and the Krishna? This 9-year-old boy has not gone through, has lived only 9 years, but he is able to explain all that. How come? Similarly, this Nachiket also, even though he is 6-7 years old, but he is wiser beyond his age. He's not blaming he's got a cultural purity. Therefore, he's not thinking that my father will go to hell. He's not thinking that way. He doesn't even use the word hell. I am using because I'm uncultured. Here the word used is Ananda, means what? Anananda, asukha. That loka, that plane of experience where joy is missing, happiness is missing. This is a cultured way of communication. Not straight away come to the edge. Go, I curse you to hell. This young boy can't even use the word hell. He's thinking that such a person, not even his father, that such a person who does this type, gives this type of cows in donation, will attain a place where there is no joy, where there is no happiness. So, thinking in this manner, this is how he started thinking. See? See, in those times, very rare people were there who had the capacity and had the courage that when the Vanaprastha time came or sannyas time came, that they had the courage to give up everything and pursue the higher. Very few people were there. And naturally, a person who is able to perform this Vishwajit Yagya, who is able to perform this sacrifice and give away everything, certainly it was a rare event. Even though it was with a view to the higher. It was with a view to go into the next stage of life. Or it was with a view to the higher to go to the heavens eventually. As I told you last week or in the first class, such kings, chieftains, when they used to go to neighboring lands, conquer and get all the money, they used to do this Vishwajit. Vishwa means world, Jeet means is that in this verse or in the next verse? I'm going ahead. Not here, in the first one. So whenever they used to come back, they used to do this Vishwajit. Jeet means victory, Vishwa means the world. When they come back victorious, whatever the loot is there, whatever the king, the other king whom they had defeated, he has given so much money and wealth and cows and whatever. They used to do this Vishwajit Yagya and distribute everything to the citizens of the country. So it could be either that, or it could be the other option is that they are ready to enter into the Vanaprastha stage of life. Brahmachari, the student, Grahastha, the family man, Vanaprastha is when the children have turned 16 or 21 nowadays, once they have finished their education. Now don't wait till that fellow finishes education in medicine till 32. No, no, no time to waste. Once he's got his graduation, get out. Tell him you fend for your own. Because, and if we are not doing that, then we are not following the Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, next stage is Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is where we discover our independence. We become free from everyone. We free from possessions, free from relations. Then slowly, then who is our support? Our only support is the Lord. Read the In Quest of God, Papa Ramdas. I have sent many of you that book, PDF file, or you can download it yourself online. Short but full of punch. How Papa Ramdas left the home. Only dependent, one Adhar, one the name of the Lord. Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. He didn't even beg for food. If the Lord brought it to him, he ate. If he didn't, he didn't. 9 years he lived like that. Realized? Our problem is we understand everything but we are not focused. We get distracted very quickly. Every satsang we understand everything. But the moment satsang is over, we wear the shoes of the world. We do not continue to remain in that frame of equanimity, that frame of witnessing, in that attitude of non-reaction. When you are listening or when I am talking, my mind accepts everything. Your mind is also accepting everything. But very quickly, we become very worldly the moment satsang is over. So this young boy, even though he is only 6-7 years old, he has wisdom beyond his age. Even though his father is elder to him, no doubt, he has to be elder. And he is following the rituals, fantastic. But he is not following the spirit of this ritual. He is not following the spirit. He is not doing it with surrender. He is doing it with fear. What is the fear? We will see that in the next verse. The spirit should be, then why is he giving away all the old decrepit used by cow or date cows and keeping the good ones? This way our Nachiketa started thinking. Continuing in the next verse, third verse. Oh no, third no. What is that? Fourth verse. Sahovacha pitaram. Wait. So now this verse is about the dialogue between the father and the son. Now you will see how his cultural upbringing expresses in the manner he talks to his father. First he has contemplated, first he has observed, he has contemplated, come to a conclusion. Now he approaches his father and he says, Sahovacha pitaram tata, Sahovacha pitaram tata, Kasmai mam dasyasiti, Kasmai mam dasyasiti, Dvitiyam tritiyam taganghovacha, Dvitiyam tritiyam taganghovacha, Mrutye vatva dadamiti, Mrutye vatva dadamiti. So he says here, after having contemplated, oh, where are we? There is no Sambandh Vasha there, okay. So after having contemplated in the previous verse, Pitodaka Jagdha Truna Dugdha Doha Nirindriyaha Ananda Namate Lokaha Tansa Gachati Tadadata, thinking in this manner, contemplating in this manner, that anyone, whoever is doing the puja, whoever is doing the ritual, will go to joyless or to the world where there is no happiness. Thinking in this manner, he approached his father and he said to his father, Saho vacha pitaram tata. Oh father, kasmai mam dasyasiti. Kasmai mam dasyasiti. To whom will you give me? To whom will you give me? Once he said it. Then Dvitiyam Tritiyam Tagangho Vacha. And he didn't. Imagine a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. The father is there with all the priests. He's a larger than life personality, he's doing it for name, fame, heavens. He's got a great aura around him. And this young 7-year-old boy going, what? He won't even reach his waist. He must have pulled his lungi or pulled his angavastra, the cloth on his shoulders. Daddy, 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 daddy. To whom will you give me? See the cultural upbringing. He is not saying, Dad, what you are doing is wrong. Dad, for whom are you keeping all the good cows? Dad, all these Pitodaka, what is that? Pitodaka, Jagdhatruna, Dugdha Doha, Nirindriyaha. These type of cows, these 4 adjectives that were given to the cows, such type of cows, it is not right. You will go to hell if you do that. This is not the way to speak. Instead, he goes and says, Daddy, 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 to whom will you give me? I am also something that you own. You are supposed to give away everything. So you own me also. So whom will you give me to? Once. He must have done once. Dad must have said, "Oi, get away." Again, daddy, 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 daddy. Insistent child. To whom will you give me? Get away, I told you, no. Third time again, daddy, 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 daddy. To whom will you give me? Third time, the anger reaches its limit. The father says, what? Mritya vetva dadamiti. Go, I give you to death. Go, I give you to death. He must have said it out of anger. Many times when we are fighting, arguing, ए तू पागल है क्या? इसका मतलब हमने तो मजाक में बोल दिया, आर यू मैड? दैट डजंट मीन दैट यू हैव बिकम मैड. So the father said, "Go, I give you to death," out of frustration. He was getting disturbed. Such a huge event is taking place, and this small boy is coming and troubling him. It is no place for the small child. So he said, "Go, I'll give you to death." Now let's see what the Shankar Bhashya says here. Shankar Bhashya says, it says, Tadevam कृत्स्व संपत्ति निमित्तं पितुरनिष्टं फलं मया पुत्रेण सता निवारणीयम् आत्मप्रदानेनापि प्रदानेन अपि क्रतुसंपत्तिं कृत्वेति एवं मत्वा पितरम् उपगम्य स होवाच पितरं हे तात तात कस्मै ऋत्विक् विशेषाय दक्षिणार्थं मां दास्यसि प्रयच्छसि इति एतत्. So the student, the Nachiket, he is thinking that the result of giving such a donation is going to bring ill fame. It is going to bring an unconducive result, an evil result, and my father is not thinking correctly at this time. This is all going on in his mind, and therefore, why is it not a conducive result, and why will it bring ill fame to my father? Because the consequence of giving such donation of such cows for such a great sacrifice, I must do something in order to stop him from doing this mistake. But how do I stop him from doing this mistake? What do I do? And therefore, I am a son of my father, and then okay, I am a son of my father, and I want good for my father. Which son does not want good for his father? A matured son like here. See all these young masters. You saw Dhruv. Dhruv was a young 6-7-year-old who had the darshan of the Lord. Prahlad, he was also 6-7-year-old, and his father and he was in love with Lord Narayana, and the father was the most evil person, Hiranyakashipu, and the lion man form comes out of the pillar and kills his father. And this third, Nachiketa, young son. So because of his cultural upbringing, because of that wonderful DNA that he is a part of, the lineage, it has brought about this mature intellect even at this young age. And therefore, he is able to think not like his father, but at a different tangent. Father is doing what he is doing out of his attachment, out of his desire. Remember, Om Ushan Havai, desiring. Desire always leads to Kama, Krodha, Lobha, etc. Desire doesn't give you the satisfaction. But what we do in life, we only go and satisfy our desires thinking that when this is over, then it's all over. No. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsan. Whenever we think of something, we desire it. Desire leads to attachment, or attachment leads to desire, and desire leads to anger. And then the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsan, that verse is there. It takes you to the fall of man, where you stop discriminating. The father has also stopped discriminating. He is not thinking of the consequence of giving such cows, that it will befall ill will upon him. But the child is able to think. But how does a small child speak to his father and tell, Dad, you are doing wrong? टुडे कलयुग चल रहा है, तो बच्चे बोल देते हैं, मैम यू आर डूइंग रॉन्ग, मैम दैट इज नॉट राइट, डैड दैट इज नॉट राइट, what are you giving me in return if I vacuum the house? Not a cultured person doesn't speak that way. So he started thinking that I must do something, that this small mistake, from the child's point of view, it's a small mistake. Is there a way I can stop this mistake from happening? Because rituals, the mantras have to be chanted perfectly, the offering has to be offered perfectly, every step of the ritual has to be performed perfectly. But when the ritual is over, the puja is over, even the dakshina, the donation that has to be given, that also has to be done properly, perfectly, with a happy intention, with a feeling of abundance. Not give $2 and ask for a receipt in return. So this, and the father has done everything correctly, but one imperfection. What is that? Old cows, use by date. So the child is thinking, Nachiket is thinking, is there any way I can ward off this imperfection? I can remind my father that he is making a mistake. How can I do that without offending him? Maintaining the respect all the time, maintaining the decorum. So he says, and thinking in this manner, so he thinks that yes, maybe I can correct this imperfection by offering myself as a donation. And in thinking in this manner, saha hovacha, thinking in that saha hovacha, he went and spoke to his father. And what does he say? He says, so yeah, he says, tad evam kratu asampatti nimittam pituranishtam, the bad that will pituhu anishtam phalam. So I can ward off this bad result of this imperfection. How? Maya putrena sata nivaraniyam atma pradanena na api. How? By offering myself as a donation, I can ward off the imperfection of giving the old cows. And for that, even if I have to give up my life, it will be a small price to pay. Thinking in this manner, that even if I have to atma pradanena, even if I have to give up my life, by giving my life, I must try to correct this imperfection of my father. He wants the good for his father. Api kratu sampattim krutvet कृत्वेति एवं मत्वा पितरम उपगम्य सोहोवाच पितरम हे तात तात तत तात कस्मै ऋत्विक विशेषाय दक्षिणार्थं मां दास्यसि प्रयच्छसि इति एतत्. And thinking in this manner, he went close to his father and he said, "Oh dad, oh father, to whom, to which," here he says, "Kasmai Rutvig Visheshaya Dakshinartham Ma Dasyasi." To which of these priests are you going to offer me as a donation? This is Shankaracharya Bhasha. It was not given in, this part is not given in the verse. There it was just said, "To whom are you going to give me?" And there he said, "I'm going to give you to death." So here he is saying, to which Ritvig, Ritvig is the priest who was performing the ritual. To which Ritvig specially you are going to give me as a dakshina? Prayachasi iti etat. He spoke in this manner. Eva muktena pitraha pitra upekshya manaha api dvitiyam tritiyam api uvacha. And evam uktena, and when he spoke like this, and the father disregarded him. Upeksha is disregarded, was showing indifference towards his blabbering of the son, because 7-year-old is blabbing away, "Whom will you give me?" Why is saying like this? And when the father showed indifference the first time, he asked the second time, again he showed indifference, again he asked third time, and in this manner, then he said, "Kasmai mam dasyasi, kasmai mam dasyasi iti." Whom will you give me? To whom will you give me? He said again and again. "Na ayam kumara swabhava iti kruddha sanpita tang putram kila uvacha mrityave vaivasvataya twam dadamiti." See what frustration makes one speak even to their own son. When anger comes, some unnecessary things come out of our mouth. And when he is being pestered by his son once, twice, thrice, he got flustered because he is doing such a great event of giving donation, but he doesn't see the wrong that he is doing there, which his son is able to. He's got blinkers on his eyes. Who? The father, Gautam, Bhajashravasa Gautam. But Nachiket, so young to compare to his father, but crystal clear thinking. Crystal clear thinking. When we want to give money to donation, to dakshina, we have decided, when we have so much, this year I am going to give this much. Or when we go to the temple, we put our hand in the pocket, take out, $20 note comes or $50 note comes. Arey, itno sara paisa, giving to the Lord. First you went, you spent $5 for the archana, you made your demand, and when it comes to dakshina, you are looking for the chiller. Chiller means loose change in your pocket to put in the box. And suddenly you find there is no change, and the note that comes out is $50. What is going on in your mind at that time? Do we have the courage to give the $50 in donation? At that time, think. what is the ongoing conversation that is going on in the mind? The self-talk. $50. The temple is already rich. Why do I need to give $50 to this temple? But anyway, it is only a stone statue. All this is afterthought. Huh? While you are asking your desires, that time it was God. But when it comes to donation, it is only a stone statue. It will go into the pocket of the priests and somewhere. Why should I put it on the plate? Why should I put it in the box? They are already so rich. They built this temple now, this big temple now, that. So they are expanding. They got the donation from the government. The Victorian government also helped. What is $50 going to do? No, next time I'll come, I'll give. This time $50. Again, नहीं पर दे देते हैं यार. Let's give it and forget it. And again you put your hand in, take out the $50. But the heart wants to give, but the mind, it's calculating $50. Finding all loopholes how not to put that money into the plate or in the box for donation. And some fantastic ideas you come up with. No, Bhagwan is taking care of everyone. What my $50 is going to make a difference? This temple is already a multi-millionaire. $50 doesn't make a difference. And next time I come, I'll put, after 2-3 months when I come, I'll put 50. If I put 50, then it is okay. Come after 3-4 months. Again the hand goes in, $50. Arre, फिर 50 आ गया. But last time also I said I will give it, but $50, isn't it too much? This is your internal dialogue going on. Huh? You're not telling it to anyone. Whenever we give abundantly. If all this type of dialogue is going in your mind and there is hesitation, either don't give and be happy, or give happily. Let that giving also be an expression of happiness, an expression of abundance. न अयम कुमार स्वभाव इति क्रुद्ध सन्पिता तंह पुत्रम किलह उवाच मृत्यवे वैवस्वताय त्वां dadamiti. Then the father, thinking that the way this young fellow is pestering me, it is not childlike. This is that why is he troubling me like this? Why is he pestering me like this? Why is he asking this question again and again? Children don't ask this question. To whom will you give me? To whom will you give me? To whom will you give me? 3 times. And suddenly, Kruddha Sanpita, the father became angry, and in that spurt of anger, he said, Kila uvacha mrityave vaivasvataya tvam dadamiti. He said, I give you to Vaivasvataya. I give you to the son of Lord S-O-N of S-U-N. I give you to Death, who is the son of Lord Sun. Yamraj. Yamraj is the son of Lord Sun. So I give you to him, and in this way the Bhashya concludes. We'll continue the story in our next class. Here he says, just the Sambandh Bhashya, Sa eva muktaha putra ekante paridevayanchakara katham iti uchyate. When the father, this is something for you and everyone to contemplate and sincerely contemplate. What is it? when the father spoke in this manner, what did the son do? The son ekante paridevayanchakara. The Nachiket, he went into a corner and he started and silently, by himself, with no disturbance, started thinking ki katham, how will I go to death? Iti uchyate. So, and then he starts thinking. So now it is up to you. You can read the verses, I got no problem. You will not find the answer there. But your homework is, for next 1 week, contemplate what did he think, how did he reach the gateway of death, what was the methodology that he employed. So with that thought in your lap, that you have to do the job, not only I have to prepare for this class, now you have to prepare for the next class. How to die consciously, how to reach the doorway of death, the Yamraj. This is our homework. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.